AI is getting a lot of attention in GTM, but attention doesn't always translate to impact. The teams pulling ahead are getting much more practical about where AI actually improves execution, decision making, and performance. And that is what today's session is all about. So I'm very excited to welcome David Ashe, Senior Director of Global Sales Development at Allego, for a conversation on what effective revenue impacting AI usage really looks like in 2026 and where teams should be focusing now. So, David, thank you so much for being here. Let's jump in.
All right. Thank you. Hey, everyone. Really excited to be here today with all of you. FYI, I am flying blind right now. Right when we were in the back room, I was trying to get my second screen to work, but it's not working. So I'm flying blind, but I'm a sales guy. So we adapt, adjust, and we overcome. So here we go. So as she said, I'm David Ashe. I lead the global sales development at Allego. I will be talking about why the best AI won't help GTM teams win today. I've gone all in on AI, trying to figure out how to actually use it in sales. But before we jump in, quick note on logistics. I've got Marcus here with me helping run the chat and the polls. So feel free to drop questions or reactions. I want this to be interactive. Please stop me so I could take a break, drink my coffee or my water, and Marcus will be able to answer those questions or ask me those questions. Marcus, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey everyone. Marcus Woodard here, running our webinar programs at Allego. So David and I do a lot of these. I'm working in the background, like you said. Get your chat questions flowing in, Q&A, however you put them in. I'll get them straight to him. Going to interrupt him as we go. So feel free to keep it going.
Please interrupt me. I'm going to be just talking to a blank screen here because I can't see anyone. All right, let's jump into this. Before we get into this, I do want to level set. I'm not an AI guru. I'm not some expert who's had it all figured out. I'm honestly just nerding out on this stuff. I love it. I love learning about it, testing it, trying to break it, figuring out what actually works. And if you think about the learning curve, I'm trying to be one of those early or on the early side, what they call the innovators. So everything I'm sharing today is in theory. It's what I'm actually trying to test with my team, what's working with my team. We deal with a lot of sales organizations, so I get to see how they're implementing it, what's working for them, what's not working for them, all in real time. And more importantly, I'm trying to find out something that matters way more than AI itself, which is trust. Because at the end of the day, the psychology of selling hasn't changed. People still buy from people they trust. So that's going to be an overall theme during this presentation is trust. And I'm going to rely on the psychology of selling. Hopefully you all know that being in sales, it's one of the things or the principles that I run my team on, where they have to know about the principles of psychology of selling. But before we go any further, I'm curious, quick pulse check. How are you primarily using AI in your sales motion today? There's no right answers here. Just go with it. What are you doing most consistently with AI today? Marcus, do we have that poll up?
We do. It should be on the right side, I believe. So let's see. For those of you that are watching this later, writing emails, sequences, and outreach faster, researching accounts and personalizing messaging, and then preparing for calls and improving discovery. And the last one, training, practicing, and coaching reps. What do you think one's going to be the winner here?
I wish I could see the poll. Just play. All right, let me close.
There you go. Let's see. So on screen, you should see they're still coming in here. I would take a guess. Take a guess. I'm not gonna give it away. You go ahead and take a guess which one you think is gonna be the winner.
Well, in high school, what I used to do is I would just guess C all the time because the law of averages. Hopefully, I would pass. So I'll go C.
Well, right now, man, it's like next to the last.
Okay.
The winner right now is researching accounts and personalizing messaging. Then we've got writing email sequences, outreach faster. Then you're on the list, preparing for calls and improving discovery. And last but not least, training, practicing, and coaching reps. So we can go ahead and close that out. And back to you.
All
Any
right.
thoughts on that?
I mean, this is helpful. It's what you typically see. And what I've seen across most teams that are partners with Allego is their heavy concentration in A and B, using AI to move faster. It's like, yeah, AI is going to help us scale. We're going to be able to act like a team of 100, but only be a team of 10. And I caught myself saying that a lot last year. So, AI is there to help you write more emails, personalize at scale. And that makes sense. That's the easiest place to start. But this is exactly where the problem starts.
Were you baiting us on that? I mean, you went with seed.
Hey, softballs, right? Softball season. Hey. So everyone's talking about AI in sales, how to automate more, do more activity, scale outreach. But here's the problem. As we move faster with AI, trust is dropping. And when trust goes down, everything gets harder. So it isn't about prospecting faster, closing faster. I know most CROs and CEOs want to close that deal faster or beating the competition faster. That's what everyone's focused on. But that's also the easy stuff. And in sales, when you lean into easy, everything else gets harder. I've always believed you do the easy things and life gets hard. Do the hard things and life gets easy. AI may give us speed, but if we use that speed to skip thinking, preparation, and understanding the buyer, trust drops. If we use it to get sharper, more prepared, and more thoughtful, trust goes up. So the real question shouldn't be isn't how is AI making you faster? It's whether you're using that speed to cut corners or to build trust. And again, you're going to hear that a lot, trust. So let's call it like it is. Everyone's using AI right now to write emails, build sequences, automate outreach. And what's happening? Everything starts to sound the same. You read an email and you instantly know AI wrote that. You see the little dashes in there. And then the rep is like, no, I used dashes way before AI. No, you didn't. And you're lying to me. We know that's AI with the little dashes. You see it on LinkedIn posts now. People just say, write me a LinkedIn post. They copy it and they just paste it. They don't even sometimes read it. And what's really happening underneath that? Buyers are dealing with cognitive overload. They're getting hit from every angle with the same type of messaging. That leads to what I'm calling prospecting fatigue. They're tired of the noise. They're tired of generic outreach, tired of feeling like just another name on a list. So what do? And you're probably all seeing this right now because it's really, really hard out there. It's much harder than when I started in sales. They're tuning us out. They're disengaging us. And more importantly, that they trust us less. And when everything starts to sound the same, nothing feels credible. So it's not that AI is the problem. It's that we're using AI to replace thinking instead of improving it. And you're hearing that from elementary school teachers or high school teachers, middle school teachers, even college professors saying, they're just using AI, but they're not actually retaining that information. And we're seeing that a lot in sales now. The teams that are actually winning with AI are doing something very different. They're not using it to crank out more activity. They're using it to improve how their reps show up. And it really comes down to three things. The first being preparation, the second being execution, and the third being reinforcement. So I'll say that again, preparation, execution, reinforcement. And here's the part that most people miss. Sales isn't about information. It's about behavior. People don't make decisions because you gave them more data. They make decisions when they feel understood, when they trust you, and when they feel confident in the outcome. If AI isn't helping you influence those moments, it's not helping you win. So this is where AI should start before a rep ever gets on a call. Think about how most reps prepare today. They may do a LinkedIn or a quick LinkedIn check, maybe glance at the website, and they're off smiling and dialing or jumping into that discovery call. They'll say, hey, I'll learn it on the fly. AI changes that. Now you can understand the business, the industry, and likely challenges, even how similar companies are solving those challenges. You just go to whatever ChatGPT, Gemini, GemSpark, Claude, and you just prompt it. Tell me about this company. Tell me how they sell, how they make money, the industry, their competitors. What are they saying on their 10K report? What used to take hours takes minutes. Here are the principles, though. People trust they trust the people that understand them. So when you show up with real insight, you establish authority faster. But here's the key. You don't just copy and paste what AI gives you. You use it to think better, because better thinking leads to better questions, and that's what earns trust. But here's the challenge. They can't just live with one rep. If only a few people do this, it doesn't scale. So the question becomes, how do you make this consistent across your entire team? And before we jump into the next slide, Marcus, anything? While I take a sip of my coffee and wake up?
Yeah, I hope you're awake. No, just a comment earlier I missed from Mark. He said that he wanted to choose all three, A, B, and C for the poll. So
okay. No D though? D's not getting any love? Was there a D?
No, D was the worst, man.
Oh. All right. Well, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna find out it's not the worst. Okay.
Not the winner, I should say. How about
okay. That? All right, there we go.
Still important.
Yeah. Come on, technical difficulties here. I have no. Okay. So this is where enablement and AI really start to come together. So this is D, the answer D. We're going to go over why this is important. Because traditionally, building and rolling out training could take weeks, sometimes months. Now AI helps compress that timeline dramatically. There are tools like GenSpark.ai. Anyone out in the crowd use GenSpark today? Marcus, help me out here. I can't see. Flying blind.
Yep. Nobody's chimed in yet, but yeah, man, the formatting on this, we need some AI to help us with the formatting from Mac to PC next time.
Oh gosh.
Throwing everything off.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing yet from the chat. Kind of quiet. So
I use GenSpark a lot. So this allows you to quickly turn in ideas into a structured content like decks, training materials. It's a more robust LLM. So it does have the chat feature, the image generator, but it also has the ability to build out PowerPoint. So you can go into a chat and prompt it to build out some training material, and then you can take that and say, now turn this into a PowerPoint deck for me. And then what I do from there is I turn it into a mini course, and I'll use Pictory.ai for a video, and then I'll use 11 Labs to add my voice in there so it actually feels real and engaging. I don't want to use a computerized voice. I want to use my voice. So 11 Labs actually has come pretty far from where they started and where they are now. It actually sounds like the real you instead of kind of, you could tell it's duping your voice. And then I upload it into Allego, and now I've created a full course in under 30 minutes, right? For those people out there who've ever had to build courses, it could take weeks, months. It could be a huge project you give your enablement team. Now you can do it under 30 minutes. So that's the shift. AI removes that barrier for building content. So now you can move faster to support your team to make them subject matter experts. When they're subject matter experts, that's what builds trust. So I want to call this out. It doesn't replace enablement, it enhances it. It allows leaders like sales leaders, marketing leaders, and enablement teams to work together to identify gaps, build quickly, and reinforce what good looks like in real time. So if you see a gap on your team, you don't have to wait weeks to address it. You don't have to sit in a meeting and do the forecast and the timeline and say, okay, we're going to do the project start here, and we'll close the loop here, and then hopefully we'll finalize it here. You can do that very, very quickly. So you move quickly to support your reps, keep the momentum, but speed is no longer just for outreach. It's for developing your people, and that's what ultimately drives better execution. How's the formatting on this one?
Oh, we're still on the last one here. Yeah, there it goes.
Wow. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. It's
still messed up.
Wow. Okay. So this is the just listen to me. Don't look into the slides then, right? Just close your eyes and listen. This is the part that most teams miss is reinforcement, because knowing something doesn't always mean you can execute on it. So when I build a course, I use AI to add questions throughout. Back in the day, you would actually have to watch or go through the whole course and pick out what slide you want to grab questions from. And then at the end, it's like a link to an Excel spreadsheet or some sort of place that they could actually it was pen and paper to answer the questions and then have them email the answers to you. Now you can just upload it into a system, click a button, say, I want you to formulate some questions here. You can put them in the middle, you can put them at the end. So now this isn't just to check the box, but it's to make sure that they're actually paying attention and retaining it. And the reporting matters too. So now you can see who's actually watched your course and who actually got it, who actually understood the questions, how many questions they got right, how many questions they got wrong. And if they get it wrong, you make them do it all over again. Then I take it one step further, is at the end, I ask them to record what they learned and how they used it on a call. So I ask, can you retain this information? Can you digest it? Can you regurgitate it too? Because if they can't clearly explain it, they won't be able to execute it confidently. And if you don't execute it confidently, buyers won't trust them. So building trust externally starts with building capabilities and accountability internally. That's the shift. And I want everyone to think for themselves or to themselves is, am I a manager or am I a leader? And when I think about managers, those are the ones that just go to the enablement team, say, hey, I need some training and please assign it to my team. Leaders build systems that make people better. They're the ones going out to find the content that their team needs. They're the ones that are working with enablement or doing it themselves with AI to generate that course and assigning it out to the team and closing the loop. That's what I see nowadays that makes managers different, or leaders make different than managers. Hopefully the next slide has good formatting. But this is where it can get really, really powerful. You can take a real sales call and turn it into an AI simulator now. Now your reps can practice objection handling, running discovery, positioning value. One of the things that we do with our AI simulator now is we'll have them do a call, and then at the end of the call, the simulator actually turns into a sales coach. So they're getting that immediate feedback. So it's not just, hey, you just have to do an objection handling or run a discovery. You can actually make them do a lot more things than what people thought they could do in the beginning. So before they even get into a real situation, they're able to do these practice, because confidence isn't built on live calls. That's actually where you see more failure being built and crushing their confidence. What we see on live calls is you're seeing how they're failing rather than building that. So here's where this ties directly into the psychology of selling. People don't buy just because what you're saying makes sense. They buy because they feel confident in the person saying it. That confidence transfers. If the rep sounds unsure, the buyer feels unsure. If the rep sounds clear and in control, the buyer feels safe. And that's one of the core principles. Certainty and confidence drives decisions. So when reps practice, they're not just learning what to say, they're building confidence that creates trust in the moment.
Hey, David, just going to interrupt you here for a second. So we had a couple people chime in. I think we need to put together a little resource page, maybe a one-pager of all the different AI you've tried out for different scenarios. We've had a couple folks chime in, maybe looking for a list. So I'll get with you, and maybe we can throw something together and put it in that digital room. I also told them just to connect with you on LinkedIn for, send you a message. So
yeah, we can.
I know you've just been testing out tons and tons of different AI tools, so they're looking for some ideas in specific areas.
Yeah, happy to help. I love to nerd out on this stuff. Follow a lot of people on Instagram that are introducing new tools to me. But on that resource, we actually created a one-pager last month on the different tools that we've been testing out. And you can find that on allego.com. You can find it on my LinkedIn page, and then we can also put it into that DSR as a take.
I'll actually add it to the digital room real quick. Well, you're talking, and it looks like Ben chimed in, said, have not used Gen Spark, but sends discovery call transactions to Gamma, uses templates for branding, consistency.
Love it. Yeah,
Similar
Gamma.ai.
output is what he's seeing.
Yeah, yep, definitely is. It definitely Gamma.ai helps with PowerPoints. Yep, great. So hopefully you can see this side. Now we're going to layer coaching on top of that. And you all probably know this. Managers can't be everywhere. They can't listen to every call. They can't give feedback in real time at scale. But you know what can? AI can. So after a call, reps get immediate feedback, what they did well, where they missed, and what they could do differently. And here's where this ties into the psychology of selling. Top performers operate on tight feedback loops. They try something, they get feedback, they adjust quickly. Most reps don't struggle because they lack ability. They struggle because they don't get enough feedback fast enough. And that's the gap that AI closes, because the faster you improve, the faster you build confidence. And just like we talked about earlier, confidence is one of the strongest signals of trust in any buying decision. Trust. You heard that again, trust, right? If you're active listening. So this is just about coaching at scale, or it's not just about coaching at scale. It's about helping reps show up sharper, more certain, and more trustworthy in every conversation. So when you connect this all together, you get a system. Capture conversation, turn them into learnings, practice, reinforce, repeat. So I'll say it again. Capture conversations, turn them into learning, practice, reinforce, repeat. That's how real improvement happens. And what that creates is consistency. And consistency is one of the core drivers of trust in any buying decision. Because when a rep shows up the same way, clear, confident, and in control, buyers feel it. Consistency builds confidence. And confidence is what buyers trust. And here's the real reality. Trust isn't built in one moment. It's built through consistent execution over time. All right, I'm going to get up on my soapbox for a second. And you all heard I'm the Senior Director of Global Sales Development at Allego. So I got to talk about Allego. So this is exactly where Allego fits in. If you believe AI should improve execution, not just output, then you need a system that can scale what good looks like across your entire organization. Because at the end of the day, this is how we make sure our people are true subject matter experts and are building trust in every single interaction, not just saying the right things, but understanding them, delivering them confidently, and showing up consistently with buyers. And that's what actually drives results. Because when trust goes up, win rates go up. And I know the CROs and the CEOs out there, CFOs love hearing when win rates go up. And that's the connection most teams miss. Allego brings that all of these components together in one place. It's capturing conversations, turning them into learning, enabling practice, reinforcing with coaching. Your team doesn't just move faster, they get better with Allego. Anything out there, Marcus?
Yeah, so let's see. My camera's on now. Ian says, wondering how folks are ensuring brand consistency and voice in these tools to further build trust and rise above the vanilla, I like that term, AI content flood.
So a lot of product marketers spend a lot of time on messaging, making sure the messaging is correct. They're testing their messaging, coming up with different iterations, and then they deliver them to the sales team to start conveying the messaging to the prospects and customers. And it's if you think about the game of phone tag or telephone, it's like the first person says it to the second person, but then the second person says it to the third person. The messaging gets all messed up, and the first person doesn't actually hear it until it gets out there, and sometimes they don't actually hear it at all. So with Allego, what we do is we have the ability to hear how reps are delivering the messaging. We have a AI tool in place that captures that information. Our show reels bring it up, and we'll be able to show you at specific times in a call where that rep is using the messaging, and then you can go in and give feedback to that rep, assign an AI simulator to say, hey, you got to work on your messaging. We want to hear it, turn it into us so we can keep working on it with you. So it's that whole, the practice, reinforce, repeat. Hopefully that answered your question.
And I just added just a note. It was a blog, so and it is on AI enablement tools. But I did just add that to the chat in the digital room. It's got a bunch of different AI tools in there. But if you had something specific, I'd say reach out to David on LinkedIn and chat away, nerd out, as you say.
I'm gonna get T-shirts that says AI nerd out. All right, so let's simplify this. People buy when three things are true. They feel understood, they believe you, they feel safe moving forward. I think that's just in life, in any relationship. It doesn't have to be there's a buyer and a seller. People want to feel understood. They want to believe you, and they want to feel safe moving forward. So if you study the psychology of selling, almost every principle ladders up into these three. AI in outbound is breaking all three. AI in preparation, practice, and coaching strengthens all three. But here's the danger. AI, and I think this with everyone knows this, right? When you use AI, when you use it poorly, it breaks all three. Anytime you use something in a bad way, it can break things. So it makes you sound generic, so the prospect or customer doesn't feel understood. It removes the thinking, so you start to lose credibility, and it creates uncertainty, so it doesn't feel safe to move forward. There's too much risk for someone to move forward when things are uncertain. So if we're not careful, AI doesn't help us close deals. It can actually make it much, much harder to close those deals. So what do the best reps do differently? They use AI to prepare, not replace. They use AI to understand, not automate. They use AI to practice, not shortcut. And if you think about it, trust is built through small moments. Asking a better question, acknowledging something specific, showing you actually did the work. Those are the deposits into the trust bank. AI should help you make more trust deposits, not replace them. So in other words, don't just let AI increase activity. Use it to make reps smarter, more confident, more trusted in every buyer interaction. At the end of the day, sales is still human. It's emotion, it's trust, it's confidence. Technology will keep evolving, but human decision-making doesn't change that much. The teams that win with AI will be the ones who understand it. They'll use AI to support how people actually buy, not just how reps want to sell. Because AI shouldn't make you faster at being average. It should make you better at being human. All right. Hopefully this was helpful. Maybe challenged how you were thinking about AI a little bit. If you think about the poll question, A, B, and C, I don't think a lot of people picked D. So hopefully that made you think a little differently, because at the end of the day, the reps who win aren't the ones who use AI the most. They're the ones who use it the right way. All right, that's it. Again, I apologize for the slides and the technical difficulties here, but I thank you and appreciate you all attending today. Marcus, anything to add before we close out? Any questions we can answer?
Yeah, it looks like, well, just to say, you can pull out your phone, snap a picture of that QR code, it'll take you to the digital room, or you can click the link in the chat. I also added David's LinkedIn again. So Corey asked, curious how you think this applies to renewals in addition to new sales. Should be the same, but are there some additional dimensions on the buying decision with existing customers? So that's interesting.
So you already have their trust when they're a customer of yours, and it hurts the company more when they lose a customer. Yes, it's harder to get a customer, but it hurts more when they lose a customer. And we always talk about how we should enable the sales team, but this might be account management, or you call them account managers, or a CSM. I think everyone in the go-to-market team needs to be enabled. They need to know their ICP. They need to know their competitors. Everyone should be getting better each day and making sure that they're subject matter experts. So when they are talking to a customer, they don't lose their trust. Because once you lose their trust, it's really, really hard to get it back.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing from a lot of our customers, I do a lot of these webinars, David. So what I'm hearing is that actually teams are building AI role plays for HR, customer success, marketing, and those different scenarios. So I feel like it'll start kind of trickling down from the sales team to pretty much everybody within the company as the AI gets more advanced, and like all of those becomes better, and you can use it for different scenarios. Like you said, easier to build. That's probably the one thing that was holding a lot of teams back.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing it. I know we're kind of the guinea pig here at Allego for a lot of that. But
I mean, if you're in a customer-facing role, you need to be practicing. You need to be listening how your A players or your people who've been there for a while are doing things. If you're a customer success role, how are they running their calls? How are they running their implementation calls? It shouldn't just be about sales. It should be the whole go-to-market team now being enabled every month, every week, or every year, or every week, every month, every year.
Yeah, any more questions, get them into the chat. We'll get them answered real quick. Let's see here if we've got anything that came in that I might have missed. Well, I'll ask you this: what's the your go-to source right now for? Are you a ChatGPT guy? Did you turn Gemini? Did you what are you using for emails?
So I like to use ChatGPT at work, because that's the one that has been approved. But in my personal life, I use Claude.
Okay.
So I'm trying to code. I'm a sales guy, but if I can build my own apps, that's pretty cool. And then I use GenSpark a lot.
How do you have time for that, man?
I have little kids and they like to watch TV shows, so I don't watch the TV show with them. I just nerd out. I really like the GenSpark just because it has multiple apps and you can use the different LLMs, their models like Claude model, the Gemini, and ChatGPT are all built into that too. So it's kind of your one-stop shop. And I have no ties to this company whatsoever.
Rob just chimed in, said Claude Cowork is a great intermediate option. There's a desktop app.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, didn't know that.
I learned about another one. I took this 4-day course on AI, and it was like quick hitters. Started with an M, and it was helping you build your own agents that you could tie to your email, and then it would it would respond to emails for you. And it wasn't just for company use; it was for personal use as well.
Neil just chimed in, said Manus.
Yes, there it is. Yeah. Yep.
Masha just asked, are you using gems or agents in your day-to-day? And if yes, any gem instructions, prompts that are helpful to you?
You can find some prompt engineering on my LinkedIn. A lot of people are prompting the wrong way. They're just telling the GPT or the gem to do something for them. And you got to think about the GPT and the gem are just kind of like, they're in their infancy stages. It's like a little baby, and you're just telling it to go do something, and it's going to get it wrong. So the best way to do prompt engineering is say, hey, I'm trying to do this, or I want this to be the output, but please ask me 4 to 5 questions on what I'm really trying to achieve so you can get it right. Yes, you're adding an extra step to it, but you're not going to have to do these iterations saying, no, you got it wrong. You're supposed to do it this way. No, you do it wrong. Now that one's messed up. Do it this way. So have the GPT or the gem ask you a few questions before actually giving the output, the final output. And I use GPTs. I've probably built too many GPTs for different things in work life and personal life. And usually what I do is I go do the prompt engineering and I tell it what I want to build, and then have it ask me questions, and then have it generate instructions for that GPT, and then I copy and paste it in to the GPT.
Nice. Mark just chimed in, said prompt cowboy AI. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not. I like the name though. It's cool. I'll check that out after. Yeah. What are some other tools y'all using out there? Just
throw those into the chat real quick.
Learn from each other.
Yeah.
So another cool thing I found is, and a lot of people are switching from different tools to different tools. And I don't know what the downhill effect this will have on people and their personal information, but to make it easier on you, it's something called a digital brain. What you want to do, and I can send you guys instructions after this if you connect with me on LinkedIn, but building a digital brain of who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, so you don't have to retrain every LLM you go to. You just take this document and say, here, this is my digital brain, give you a cheat sheet on how things that you like, how you want the GPT or the Gemini or whatever the program you're using to respond to you, and what outputs you like more. I learned about it the other week, so it probably didn't come off correctly, but if you look up digital brain, how to build one, it's pretty cool.
Well, it sounds like that's kind of what Mark was talking about in the chat. He said it's great for, I'm assuming he's talking about prompt cowboy AI, it's great for prompts and modifying before you put it into an LLM. Reason is that the LLMs get less effective with each iteration in a chat. So the first prompt is the key.
It is.
Good call out there, Mark.
I don't know if that's been fixed yet, but I remember when it first started out, the longer the chat went, the higher chance it would hallucinate.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn it back over to Melanie. Make sure I'll just add in the digital room again and David's LinkedIn. If you've got specific questions, that's probably the best thing. Just send them a message, connect with them on LinkedIn. I've added in the resources we talked about in that digital room. And as soon as we get the recording, I'll add that in as well. So back over to you, Melanie. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks,
Amazing.
Melanie.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Thanks, David. Thanks, Marcus. And thank you, everyone, for spending the hour with us. If you're ready to go deeper, our AI and GTM school starts on April 29th, and it's designed to help GTM leaders build a clear, actionable plan for using AI across the revenue engine. That's an 8-week program led by operators. And don't forget to check the resources tab before you leave. Allego has shared a great collection of free resources and guides there as well, also in the chat here with the digital room. And be sure to connect with David on LinkedIn so you can watch this recording at any time once the session is complete at the same link. And thank you again for joining us. Have a great day.
Thanks all.